Hi, I'm Martin Jarvis, and once again, I want to welcome you to listen. Did you happen to see the video of President Obama singing "Let's Stay Together" the other night? Just a couple lines out of it. It was pretty cool. I mean, most of us from that time period. Now he's a little bit younger than me, but there was something about the music of that day, which is a lot different than today's music. I know the young people aren't quite going to agree with that, but I mean, it's just the music was different. I just sound like a typical old person, right? I'm sure my father and mother feel the same way about their era of music. But man, he was cool, and he can sing, which kind of amazed me. And I found that particular video on YouTube, and I posted it on Facebook. I got responses like from my sister, and from my wife. They're like, "Ooh, oh my, I'm like, wait a minute, come on, girls. Settle down a little bit. But he was cool. I think what folks got to see was another side of Obama, that he was just a regular guy. You know, that knows the same songs that we know, that sings the same, when the radio comes on, he sings the same songs that we sing. Evidently, because he was telling the guys, his staff, I guess, and he had told them he was going to do that, on the air, and they didn't believe it, and he did it. So he sings like we do. Tries to. I mean, he's a lot better than I am, but regular guy. And because we see him as being cool, we see him as being educated, the professor and the president, the international, person, and very well-spoken, well-educated African American. But to see him sing "Let's Stay Together" by Al Green, come on now, he's just like the rest of us. I think we all got to realize that again. We knew that once before. I mean, look at his wife, Michelle Obama. Remember? I mean, I looked at a magazine today. She was like on the front cover of like a glamour magazine. I don't know if it was Glamour magazine, but they were touting her glamour. I mean, she was looking good. Her hair, her eyebrows, her makeup. She had it just going on like that. Now, if you recall, before he became president, and right after, I mean, she didn't have it going on like that. But given the right, cut this and fix it this way, and a little bit here, a little bit there. Now she's on the front of a Glamour magazine. But we know that they're regular folks. Their children, Sasha and Malia, come on. Regular folks, like us. Now let's zoom to where we are today, and some of the things that we're dealing with, some of the things that we're facing in our neighborhoods. Kind of messed up a little bit. Murders, drug use, thievery, hopelessness. Now, of course, there are a lot of good things going on in our neighborhoods as well, but those aren't the issues right now. Because we look at Obama and his family, they have other things going on. They probably argue like the rest of us. Michelle looks like she can argue, and Barack doesn't look like he can argue so well. So I don't know who wins those fights. But I mean, I'm just trying to make the contrast between the life of these folks and our lives today. And see, it's always been my contention all through my life that no matter what I'm faced with, no matter what I'm getting ready to attempt to do, that if someone else can do it, that has two legs, two arms, and a head like I do, if they can do it, I can do it as well. And so it's not a matter of I can't do that. It's just a matter of having to figure out how, okay? I try to teach my daughter that when there's something that she feels that she can't do. What do you mean you can't do it? If somebody else can do what you can do, unless you have like a mental problem, if there's something actually wrong with you, physically or mentally, that's one thing. But if nothing's wrong with you and somebody else can do it, you can do it too. You just have to figure it out, figure out your way. There is a way. I think one of the problems in our nation, I think that we have, probably in all nations, but in our nation for this program, of course, is that we see somebody successful. We see somebody doing something, and hey man, I think I can do that, or I wish I could do that. And so we buy their program, buy their book, buy their DVD set package or whatever, pay $20, $30, $100, $300, $400 for the package. And they try to give us their way. And more often than not, we fail. because there is a reality that we are unique individuals. We are uniquely created. We are as unique as individuals as the snowflakes. There's none like you. And so when I see someone that's doing something that now I wish I could do, or I think I could do, or I should have done that, and then I buy their program, that's their way. You need to find your way. You do have a way. And this is, to me, this is where I think, now for me personally, where I believe meditation comes in. Now, there are folks that have problems with meditation, especially religious folks. Religious folks in my family, some of my loved ones, have a problem with the meditation. They say years ago I practiced the martial art, and I really got into the Asian aspect of things, Indian Asian aspect of things, and I began to pick up the meditation part early on in my life when I was younger. But it was more like a joke. It wasn't for real. But now in my older years, I began to go back and revisit some of the things that I learned that I never took very seriously. I find a powerful benefit in meditation, even if it's just simply the quiet time when everything is turned off. Helps me think. Helps me try to understand the unique situations of my life and formulate plans to figure things out. My daughter, she practices the martial art now. I guess everybody knows by now because my wife says I talk about it too much. I put her videos and pictures on Facebook and all that. Come on, man. She's the daughter of my old age, right? But I got a little video of her and some still shots of her doing a nunchuk kata with blindfolds on. And it's like, ooh, man. I mean, it looks like, man, it's really something. No, it really wasn't about that. She knew the kata. And she kept getting messed up. And this was her suggestion because I had her do it maybe a year ago when she was just working on a regular kata. She kept getting distracted. And she knew the kata, but she got messing up. And I said, look, put a blindfold on. Like, what? I said, just try it. And what you do with kids is try to make whatever it is they have to do or they need to do, just try to make it fun. Put a blindfold on. Man, that broke, first of all, it broke the whole negativity of the heart, the frustration. We're getting ready to have some fun now. So I put a little blindfold on her, man. She did the kata, man. Psh, just did it. Why is that? It's because, first of all, your eyeballs are the only external portion of your brain, okay? That's what you see. That's the only part of your brain that's exposed, unless you have some kind of traumatic injury or something. but under normal circumstances, your eyeballs are the only external portion of your brain that's exposed and showing. Okay, and so what are your eyeballs doing constantly? You're picking up information and your brain is processing it. Everything going on. The lights right now, this wall over here, the camera over here. Everything going on right now is that I'm seeing is picking up these images and my brain is processing it. And so if I'm trying to think about something else, I'm trying to understand or do something else, this is an additional activity that's going on while I'm trying to accomplish something else, okay? And so my wife can do it, man. She can study. She can do her business and all this work, with the TV on, the Real Housewives or this or the Real that or whatever. Man, when I'm studying, I got to have it quiet because I don't want to be distracted because it throws me off hearing things. Everybody has their own threshold for how much multitasking their brain can do at one time. Maybe, women are a little bit more complicated up here, I guess, than we are, right? But I need to have everything off. So I had my daughter put the blindfold on because it automatically, immediately shut off everything the eye would see. Even when you're not realizing it, you are processing everything. Peripheral vision, anything going on right now. With the light on here, maybe little pieces of dust in the air that now I can see. My mind is processing it even if I'm not considering it. So many things going on. The moment I cut off my sight, there's so many things that are being cut off as far as my mind processing. Now my mind is processing the fact that I'm blindfolded. Okay. My mind is processing the fact that I'm, in darkness. So those are still some additional things now my mind is processing because I'm wearing this blindfold. But the amount of things my mind is no longer processing far exceeds the amount of things it's processing when I have the blindfold on. And so the purpose of meditation is sort of this, oh, when she put the blindfold on for that Nunchak kata, bam, went right through it. I mean, she was a little off-center when she ended up in where she was supposed to be. But she went right through it, did everything she was supposed to do. Because a lot of her distractions are cut off. She has learned a secret in that, 6.5 years old, to recognize meditation. See, meditation, you don't have to be sitting down in a corner to meditate. Meditation is simply the ability to think, or one might say to not think, to remove thinking from the equation. Or when you're never going to remove thinking from the equation, and certain things you want to figure out, you need to think. So what the meditation does, or what the blindfold does, it begins to remove the things that are not really germane to the thing that you're trying to process. Okay. That's sort of, people that smoke weed, okay? I mean, it's as illegal as it is, and you shouldn't do it. And you hear people talking all the time about how they can focus on things, like the tip of a finger or a bug or something, for an extended amount of time and just observe it. Why is that? Because certain portions of the brain are sort of deadened or sort of shut down and allowing you to spend more intense focus in one particular area. It's sort of a meditation state created, through that smoking that weed, I guess, But the more things that we can eliminate that our mind doesn't need to process, the more apt we are to find the solutions, to the situations. Our way, your particular way. Listen, I'm suggesting today, for me, I call it meditation, actual meditation. The sort of picture book, what we picture as meditation. Man, I'm sitting there, with my legs crossed. But then I've incorporated some things that are personal to me that sort of brings stretching and breathing, especially deep breathing, a lot of good breathing into the mix. You have to do your own thing and some stretching simply because, I'm getting old and I need to stretch a certain thing. So I've sort of incorporated that into the meditation as well. And that helps. It helps figuring out your way. And I'm suggesting that in the African American community. I mean, we have, if you open up a history book, we have such a rich history as far as the things that we've accomplished, the things that we've built, the things that we've discovered and figured out on. And today, we're just sitting here getting a buzz. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I used to drink a lot when I was younger. I'm glad before I had children, that was before I had children that I was raising. Because it's just not a good example, and it's not really a good way to interact with your children with that buzz. I mean, I spend a lot of every time, whenever I'm home, I'm around my child, and whenever I'm in whenever you are around, home, you should be around your children to impart into them. Where do you think they learn from? You're it. Okay? And so now if you're going out drinking with the boys, and I know people do that, that's my dad used to as well. If you go out drinking with your friends, that's cool because you're out there getting a buzz on and everything. But when you come home, you're probably still buzzed. So that sort of affects the interaction that you have with your children. So it's not just the time you're away. Then you come home and you're still buzzed. And that's who your children are interacting with. This is the mind that they're gleaning their life choices and their life's insight from is your buzzed mind, okay? I'm saying we need to just recognize that we have a responsibility, first of all, to ourselves to try to get ourselves in a better position than we are instead of just staying buzzed. And as well, sort of to give our children tools to help them because they're going to get old one day and all they're going to have is what we've given them, okay? And so the two things I'm sharing with you today is the meditation. And we need to get ourselves healthy. We need to stop eating the wrong kind of foods. We need to start eating healthier. and another thing is sleep, man. That's my issue. I have to figure that one out. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. I haven't been getting the sleep that I need. But I'm just looking at, when I look at Obama and his family, the guy that could sing "Let's Stay Together" and sound better than me, cool brother, could play basketball better than me. And he's doing great things. We need to not be proud of Obama that, man, he's a black man and he's doing what he's doing. We need to look at him and recognizing he's got 2 arms, he's got 2 legs, and a head. So do I. What do I need to do? Not what did he do, because very few of us are going to go to Harvard, okay? Very few of us are going to walk the path that he walked, his way. But there is a way for you personally. There is a walk for you personally. And I don't care how old you are or how far off the beaten path you've gone. This is the time to begin to figure out your way. And it's for me personally, I believe that whatever off the beaten path, whatever your journey, life's journey has taken you, and then you come to a point where you recognize and find your way, that life's journey was your way because it gave you the uniqueness that you are. So I don't have any regrets. You shouldn't either. Just get yourself together right now. That's my message. This was a strange message today. I was just thinking, man. This all came when he was singing "Let's Stay Together." I'm like, man, this is just a normal brother that is president of the United States. Come on, man. Look at us. You think we can do better as individuals? We spend too much time. I mean, as smart as Cornel West is, as cool as Harry Belafonte is, and a lot of these brothers that are ragging on Obama because he hasn't done anything for black people, let me tell you what, not doing anything for black people, I know that's odd for us because we want somebody to do something for us, but not doing anything for black folks is the greatest thing that a black president can do for black folks, is not doing anything for black folks. Come on, we're going to put something in my hand, give me something. No, just look at me, do what I've done. We look at ourselves. We look at folks. We pay money for Wayne Dyer. We pay money for Tony Robbins. We pay money for these motivational speakers and these get-rich-quick gurus. This is something that shouldn't cost you anything. Look at somebody that's doing way better than you. Look at yourself. Recognize that you can do. See, when presidents look like Bill Clinton, I know he was cool. When presidents look like George Bush, when President 1 and 2, when presidents look like Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, take it Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, take it John F. Kennedy, Truman, Roosevelt, take it back as far as you want to take it. When presidents look like them, that was no example for any of us. When you had a president, African American, young, cool, could sing Al Green songs, has a wife, Michelle, and 2 kids, Shasha and Malia, just regular black folks. That's something we can look at and recognize that our lives can be better. Now, they found their way. Let's find our way. Okay? Well, that's it today. That's the message today. Find your way. Look at this. Look at what's going on in our nation. And look at your life. And then look at your children and ask yourself, what are they going to be experiencing when they're older? Man, I'm telling you, I'm down at, man, I hate to end on a sour note, but I'm down at that local Dunbar High School about every day. And I know that there are young African American kids in that school that have their heads screwed on right. I never see them. But that's because you never get to see the ones that are doing right. You only get to see the ones that are doing wrong. But I see them in the office, just sitting there, in trouble. I see them in attitudes. I saw them the other day, one of the security guys had him by the arm and one boy by the arm taking him in the back. And I'm like, I saw the other day, I saw these kids, about 5 of them, running from the school, hiding behind a tree, and then running behind some houses, playing hooky from school. Running away from their own futures. And then I asked myself, what are these kids going to be like 20, 25, 30 years? Many of them are going to be dead. And some of you parents, if you just sit back and critically look at the lifestyle of your child, what they're doing, what they're embracing, the friends that they have, their lifestyles, you should really begin to ask yourself, are they going to be alive in 30 years? Or are they going to be in jail in 30 years? Are they going to be in college in 30 years? I was speaking to a Wright State alum, and many people are talking about education. I was speaking to this white guy, and he was a good guy. He's trying to talk about the community, and trying, maybe we should come up with programs to help kids get education. All the money we're spending here, if we put them in college and just pay for the college, but they're already doing that. And even what I understand with Wright State, from one of the alum from Wright State, is that they have a lot of kids that they're recruiting and bringing into the college, and they're attending college. But if you can measure it from how many kids they've recruited, man, they're doing a great job. But if you measure from how many kids on the other end actually graduate, it's like 3%. It's not happening. This has to happen at home. They were calling. Newt Gingrich was calling President Obama, the food stamp president. They don't use food stamps, they use those cards now. It tells you how old that guy is, right? But think about it. I mean, every Democratic president has been a food stamp president. So have the Republicans. Actually, I haven't seen them cut off food stamps in my lifetime. But as African Americans, we need to stop looking for handouts. We need to stop looking for help. Now, if it's help to get yourself out of the situation, but not help just to maintain the status quo, maintain the situation that you're in. We talked a couple of months ago about those phones, those Obama phones they're calling them, and how really companies, multi-million-dollar companies, are making money off of folks that are on welfare, okay? They're just using the people on welfare so they can make multi-million dollars. They'll give you a cell phone, but that's nothing compared to what they're making on cell phone usage, even the price of the cell phones themselves. We need to stop being used. See, we think we're like Bill Withers, it feels this good getting used, just keep on using me. No, we're getting used, and it's not really feeling good. When does your money run out? Before payday? Something's wrong. I mean, I'm in this boat too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pointing no fingers. I'm saying we each need to critically look at ourselves, look at our lifestyles, what we've embraced, what we've accepted, and as we're living this status quo and recognizing that we can do better. And you don't recognize you can do better by looking at somebody that's doing worse than you or looking at somebody that's doing the same as you. You have to look at somebody that's doing better than you. There's a scriptural in the Bible that says something about iron sharpens iron. So you find someone that's doing better than you, and you aspire to be like that. I tell my daughter when she's practicing the martial art, if she's practicing in the classroom with somebody, find somebody that's better than you, even if you're losing your fights, because you're learning from this person who's better, you're getting better. Look at Obama. Don't look at him for a handout. Look at him as inspiration to be more than you are. Man, I started going to college in 1976. Just goofing around when I was in the military. And then all through my life, so many years in college, never got a degree. 1/4 from a degree. Now, if you scroll back to the program that I put out right after Obama became president, I said this is the time that something in the air, something is going to happen, something different in the air because an African American is president. This is the time to do something that you've never done before, to do something maybe that you've always wanted to do but put off, or even to come up with just something altogether new. I'm going to do something different. And so I started school, determined to get that degree. In 1.5 years, next quarter, after this quarter is over, I'll have that degree after all these years. And so I can say, well, Obama never gave me anything, but he did. He gave me inspiration. He gave me motivation to do something that I had just put aside that I was never going to do. I don't need it for a job. But it was just something that I never did, that I tried to do so many times. I saw this man, Barack Hussein Obama, become president of the United States, and I was determined. And I started school that very first quarter. He became president. And hopefully he'll be president for the next 4 years. I hope I don't end at the same time he ends, but whatever. Just get motivation. Better yourself. You can. You should. So when Barack Obama does eventually leave office, whether it's after this term or whether it's after the next term, don't let him leave without having gotten something from it. Not a handout, not a food stamp, not an Obama phone, but something life-changing that you can impart, pass on to your children. How's that? Well, I do want to thank you once again for joining me and listening. And I'll invite you to listen again. You take it easy. See ya.